Mick, a quick wrap up on Jai's performance and his condition at the moment.
Yeah, it was a war. As I said, this guy's coming for war, and he got war. And both boys have gone to the hospital for precautions. Obviously, if you had a look at the Jai Opetaia and Brutus fight over in Riyadh, that was a war as well, and both boys went to the hospital for precautions as well. So, look, at this level, at this weight division, mate, every time these guys hit, they're taking chunks out of each other. So, and that was round 8 that finally ended. But both boys were pretty banged up.
Taps, how do you assess the performance tonight?
It was okay. It's a learning process for him, and what things that he shouldn't be doing. But he come over to fight, so we knew he was a warrior from the way he come out. It is what it is. He got the job done. So,
what do you put the perhaps disappointing performance down to?
I'd stop there. I wouldn't say it was disappointing.
Jai said it was.
No. But Jai's hard on himself, and there's no way it's a disappointing performance. Okay, everyone's entitled to a bad night.
I've never seen a disappointing.
But that was never a disappointing, and it just goes to show he's knocked these guys out time and time again. How dangerous he is, and that's why he's the most feared fighter in the world. So he's always hard on himself, but it was definitely not disappointing because I'm so proud of this kid, mate, and he deserves, to be the big rock star of Australian boxing that he is. So,
and Cinkara, you got to remember, he's not unbeaten for nothing. This is an old throwback fight. It looked like it was from 1940. If he hadn't net for 2 weeks, he'd have still come in and given a performance like this. That was a tough guy you watched tonight, and maybe he should have took more of his time. Maybe he's a little bit disappointed himself, but you don't see many knockouts like that. No. I don't care where you go in the world. He set him up lovely. He came over, and the man was, he nearly decapitated him. It was that strong. So he might be knocked up a bit, but you've got to remember this guy was not unbeaten for nothing. He was tough. He came to fight and he came to win.
Taps, is he okay?
who, Jai?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine. Just very down on himself. Yeah, he'll be right.
You got clipped there in round 2. What did you say to him in between the rounds, and how impressed were you with his stoppage in round 8?
So keep your fucking hands up. And the stoppage in what? Sorry.
Whichever round it was, were you impressed with how he sort of bounced back from that early adversity?
Once he calmed down a bit and then got back to boxing properly, everything fell into place. So worked out well. So yeah.
Taps, Jai's in a very interesting spot. He's fighting these dangerous guys and they're tough, but people are just expecting him just to walk through these guys. How do you keep him level-headed and focused when there's all this external noise?
Good question.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you keep it level-headed?
He loves what, mate, he makes it easy because he loves what he does.
But I'm sure all the media and everyone saying that he's just going to walk through him could get to him.
Yeah,
do you say anything to him?
Yeah, the media is the media. Like I've said from the beginning, all you got to do is keep winning and everything else will fall into place.
Spencer, can you speak to his marketability and that knockout around the world and the state of Australian boxing here at the moment?
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Australian boxing. I go all over the world with boxing, all over Europe, all over the world, and I was so impressed tonight. I thought it was a world-class event. I've been to thousands of events, and this was world-class. Australian boxing is on the up and up and up. You know, it wasn't just about Jai Opetaia tonight, it was about the other fighters as well. You've got, Max McIntyre, who could be a potential superstar. Marketing value around the world with Jai Opetaia, you can't get any higher. People are going to look at that knockout tonight. He's a warrior, and he's a funny guy, and he's very charismatic as well. So I just think you've got an absolute superstar here. From England, he walks out into a street in England and he's asked for autographs and pictures all day long. Everybody knows him. Jai Opetaia is a very famous boxer in England, and I think that if Australia gets hold of him and pushes him, and all you lot push him, and it can only go higher and higher and higher.
Taps, Jai's disappointed in the back there. What will you sort of say to him over the next sort of couple of days?
We'll just go back to the drawing board and reset, do it all over again. We'll wait to whoever they give us to fight, and yeah, we'll just get ready and back to the drawing board.
Talk of Bardu Jack next, perhaps. Mick, Spencer, is that the plan?
Yeah, I think that's the promised fight. Badu Jack, if he can get through what he's got to get through, you know, he's got to face this man, and he won't be too keen on that. But he's promised the fight, and we want that fight. I think we need to get all the belts by the end of next year.
Mick, this fight was streamed globally on UFC Fight Pass. I think that took a lot of people by surprise. What was the reasoning behind going with Fight Pass?
They invested in the product.
Yeah.
That's the guts of it. They've come to us. They see a future in boxing in this part of the world.
Yeah.
They want to invest in boxing, want to grow boxing in this part of the world. Look, UFC Fight Pass is a massive platform globally, and you know, we only signed the contracts days out, so there wasn't much time to actually promote it and market it. But they still took it, and they see a massive future going forward.
Yeah, and could we see you work with Super Boxing in the future?
I don't know much about them at the moment, but look, absolutely. Like, I don't care if it's Daffy Duck boxing. If they give Jai the opportunities to fight for the titles that he wants to fight for, mate, we will work with anybody, because it's not about the name of the brands, the companies. It's not about the names of the fighters or the teams. It's about these bloody belts. Yeah. And once we secure all these belts and undisputed, Jai will put them aside, and he will go to heavyweight. He won't only be a unified cruiserweight champion. He'll go to heavyweight, and he'll unify the heavyweight division as well.
Spencer, does Zerto Ramirez know who Jai Opetaia is now?
Well, if he doesn't, he needs to go and find a local mental hospital, because that's the only way. That's the only way he's not going to know about him. Zerto Ramirez knows all about Jai Opetaia. He's known about him for a long time. We've been talking about fighting him for a long time. It's not happened. They asked for ridiculous money, didn't they, Mick?
Absolutely. Well,
just crazy money.
Was in New York when we did it.
You know, and that was Jai's passion. This is what he wanted. He wanted to fight Ramirez. It's not happened. We hope it still can happen, but he got offered a lot of money, and that comment that he's never heard of him, honestly, it's just absolute bullshit.
If Noel does beat Badu Jack, could we see that fight happen?
Yeah, I think that's the next fight.
Okay, so it's not only if Badu Jack wins.
Correct. Badu Jack's got to beat Noel, which is not going to be easy.
But if Noel wins, we'll see that one.
I think we'll see that one. Yeah. Look, Jai wants to unify the titles. That's what he wants to do. Look at what Usyk done. Yeah. He wants to do the same thing. He moves to heavyweight, the natural progression, and goes through the heavyweight.
Have you guys spoken to Noel's management?
No, we don't need to until that fight happens, do we? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Soon that fight is over, then the relative people we will speak to, who we need to speak to.
Controversy, the scorecards, Wiley Fleming.
I'll be honest, there's a lot happening at the time. I didn't have a look at that fight too deeply, but I was watching in the change room with Tap. Tap watched it more than me, so ask Tap.
What's Tap?
Mate, that judge that gave it a draw, I don't know what he's been watching. He shouldn't have a job. But anyway.
190 from Chris Condon.
Say it again.
190 from Chris Condon in the way of Jake Wiley.
Yeah, crazy scoring. I don't know. I don't get it. I thought Fleming did enough to get over the line, but hey, boxing, what do you do?
Success of the night.
I think the crowd, Stan Sports, the performance of every single fighter that was on the card. If you have a look from the very first fight to the last fight, every fight was exciting, and you couldn't leave this venue tonight and say it was a boring night, because it's probably one of the best nights of boxing that we've seen for a very long time. And every single kid on this card is a superstar, and they should be given that recognition.
And the review, Tommy, Jai.
Yeah, one more. Talking about the judging, what did you think about the Jack Gregory? What's his guy's name again?
Hayden Emerson.
Hayden Emerson fight.
Once again, I look.
Great fight.
Great fight. I watched the bits and pieces, but there's so many things going on behind the scenes, and it's hard to sit down and actually concentrate. So, look, they're both good guys. Even Jake Wiley and Paul Fleming, they're both really good kids. So, it's probably a good result at the end of the day, because it gives them an opportunity to number one, have a rematch, or improve on what the mistakes that they actually made. So, it's probably not a bad result. I'm sure they're disappointed in themselves, but they'll they'll move on.
Final one, mates. Stan Sports, Tasman Fighters. Is that the new powerhouse in Australian boxing?
Absolutely, it's a powerhouse in Australian boxing. Like, you know, bring it on. We'll take on any platform, any platform. Like, you know, I don't care who they bring to this country and who they contract and what fighters they have. But I don't know what fighters they have. Like, Tasman Fighters has every good fighter in the country. I just don't understand who they're going to sign and who they're going to work with. So, good luck to them.